Hi there, trying that again. I don't know what happened last time, but it was saying that I didn't have good signal, so I got a little flustered, and so I deleted it, and I'm just gonna start now. So it looks like everything's good now, and my phone is charged, so it looks like we're good to go. So again, for those of you that don't know me or maybe new to the community, my name is Tanya Harris, and I am a childhood cancer survivor. I'm board certified in holistic nutrition, and I'm the mother of 3. So my mission, because I know there's a few of you that are new here, my mission is to help show parents how easy it can be to take out the toxins that could be affecting your family's health, especially your children's health, because so many of these toxins do everything from, of course, cancer causing to even weight gain later in life. They're linked to cardiovascular disease, diabetes, hormone problems, reproductive issues, just a whole slew of things. So I decided to start this weekly series called What's in It Wednesday. And what I want to do is kind of go over labels with you because I know they can be so confusing. So this last couple weeks, I know we've done Pop-Tarts, which we all know are pretty bad, but I wanted to go into a couple ingredients that maybe you'd be surprised to learn about. And then we talked a little bit about blood sugar and how sending your kids off to school with a sugary breakfast can affect their learning and their behavior, whether or not they have ADHD. Last week, why am I blanking all of a sudden on what we did last week? Oh, I did the Honest Company toothpaste, which, again, not a fan of the Honest Company. They do have some things in their products that they say they don't have. They're sneaky. They're byproducts, so they don't need to be listed on the label. And tonight we're going to do another one, and this one, actually I'm going to do a couple tonight. They're Johnson's baby shampoo products. But what I really want to stress is don't feel guilty. If you're using these on your kids, don't beat yourself up over it after you hear what I have to say tonight. I used them on my kids. Full disclosure, I did. I used them on my kids because I have a 19-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 13-year-old. So way back then, even though I was super cautious about what I was putting on my kids, I didn't know better. I figured if it was formulated for babies that it must be safe, but it's not totally true, unfortunately. So tonight I wanted to go through a couple of the labels and show you some of the hidden toxins as well as some of the toxins that aren't so hidden, and to let you know what's in your products. And that's what I want to do every Wednesday. I love alliteration, so it's What's in It Wednesday, so it's going to be Wednesdays. But if you have anything that you want me to go over, like if there's something in your house that you're using you want me to go over, you don't even have to say, hey, this is my favorite product, what's in it, and you find out it's awful. You can just message me, you can put it in the comments below, or even if it's a natural product, you're not sure how natural it is, put it in the comments or just let me know, message me, and I'll look into it and I can do a video on that. So that's what I really want to do, is help you guys learn how to read the labels. So tonight, the first one I'm going to start with, and yes, sometimes I do go buy the products that I say not to use. I have kind of a no-no corner that my family knows not to touch of some of these things, but I use them for demonstrations and for blog posts so I can take pictures. And my lighting's really bright here, so I'm going to try to read it because it's dark in here, super light over there. Okay, so first of all, Johnson's baby shampoo did take out the formaldehyde. So, Johnson & Johnson, thank you, that's awesome. So that is a huge thing because formaldehyde is that same thing that you used in high school to, it's embalming fluid and when you dissected things. So it's known to cause cancer, it can damage organs, it just does a lot of damage. So, great job to Johnson & Johnson for taking this out. And again, it's parents like us who are voting with our wallets and we didn't buy this product, so they went ahead and they did that. But there's a few more things that maybe they should get out of there. So I'm gonna look at the label now. The first ingredient is water, which, fine. The next one though is PEG. So PEG is like a polyethylene glycol, and you want to avoid that. This is one of those sneaky ones that I was telling you about in the email today, if you got the email. It's 1,4-dioxane is a probable cancer causer, and it's linked to damage to the liver and the kidneys, and that is a byproduct of PEG. So even though 1,4-dioxane, which again is a probable cancer causer, is not listed, it is probably in this product because it's a byproduct. So anything that's a byproduct of the manufacturing process is not required to be labeled. So as soon as you see that PEG, you know, uh-oh, probably 1,4-dioxane contamination. Again, probable cancer causer. We won't go over all of these because there's quite a few in here that are probably not so great, and I don't want to overwhelm you. The next one though is triacetylsulfate, and that one it ends in ETH, so you see the triacetyl, it's DETH is what it ends in. Anything that ends in ETH is also going to be contaminated, most likely, like most of the time, with that 1,4-dioxane. So again, you want to be on the lookout for PEG, anything that says PEG. This one says PEG-80 sorbitan laurate. So it's a big long name, but you still see PEG in there in capital letters. So you're going to want to definitely avoid that. Again, anything that ends in ETH, whether it's alone or in a slew of words, because this one says triacetylsulfate, if I'm saying that correctly. The next ingredient after that is PEG 150 something something. So again, that's the third one you see there that is 1,4-dioxane contamination. Let's see, what's another one I should do? Oh, fragrance. I'll hold that one for a second, but let's see, anything else here? Sodium benzoate. Sodium benzoate is a product or ingredient actually that can cause hyperactivity in children. So if you're putting this, and I'm not saying it's going to with everyone, but it is one of those that if you're familiar with the Feingold diet, if your child has ADHD or any type of behavior issues or attention issues, it's one of the things to avoid. So I also avoid it in personal care products as well because, you know, when you put warm water on your skin, it opens up the pores. So what you're doing basically is just putting potassium sorbate, or whatever it is, sorry, sodium benzoate directly on the scalp, sinking in, so it's still getting into your system even though you're not consuming it through food. Let's see. Okay, yellow 6 and yellow 10. I also don't like anything with the colorings because, again, same thing. They can interact with hyperactivity. They can cause it in children. Yellow food colorings are known to exacerbate asthma, so definitely something you don't want to be using on your kids. So again, we saw 3 contaminated or ingredients that are contaminated with a probable cancer causer, and we saw the artificial colorings, yellow 6 and yellow 10, and sodium benzoate, which is known to cause hyperactivity in children. There's definitely more on this, but again, I could go on, and anybody who knows me knows I would. I could talk about this forever. Fragrance though. Fragrance is what I said I was going to hold on to for a second. Anything that you see that has fragrance in it that does not say, let's see, scented with essential oils, something like that, something that sounds supernatural, and even still I don't trust it if they don't list them out. Fragrance is known to be a proprietary product, so companies are not, why can't I talk tonight? Companies do not have to list the single ingredients that are in their fragrance formulas. So a lot of those can be cancer causers. And something called phthalates, which I'll get into in another lesson, again, I don't want to overwhelm, is in a lot of fragrances. And that can be formaldehyde, there can be so many different things. So if you see something that says fragrance on there, I would also avoid that, especially for babies. You know, if you've read a lot of my blog posts, you know that children detoxify, or actually don't detoxify, as well as adults do. And they can't flush the chemicals out of their system. Plus, they have, you know, their body systems are still developing. You don't want to be exposing them to these chemicals at such an early age, especially at birth. And when you're putting them in a bathtub, their skin is so tissue thin anyway that those chemicals are just absorbing into their skin. And one of the things, I wasn't really planning on talking about really, but I learned in some of my research is that if you're putting these chemicals on your body, that can actually be a little more harmful to you than eating them, depending on the chemical. I'm not saying eat something and then it's not going to harm you. But the reason is because when you eat something, it goes through, you know, digestive enzymes, it goes through a process to detoxify and your body can flush them out. Whereas when you put them on your skin, they actually just soak right into the bloodstream and they can go all over and do their damage. There's no detoxification process there. So, you know, that's why you want to be so careful about what you put on your skin and your child's skin. And some of those ingredients actually contain, why am I not thinking? Sorry, tonight's just, I've been outside all day. And absorption enhancers is what they're called. So they actually help some of those ingredients, whether they're harmful or not, get into your skin quicker. So that's why we want to be so careful. The other product I thought I would do real quick since I had it is Johnson's Baby Bedtime Lotion. So this one has a few different ones that I was really surprised about. It's got Satireth 6. So again, it ends in ETH, which means probable cancer causer. It's that 1,4-dioxane contamination possibility you've got there. So that's one source there. And then you have, which this scared, okay, then you've got fragrance. Again, you don't know what's in fragrance. You don't know what chemicals are in there and what the chemicals do. Scary. And then you have three parabens. So I know I just did a blog post not too long ago. My website is www.goneholistic.net. And if you want to check out that, you'll see some posts on parabens, but they're very strong hormone disruptors. So that means you can have any type of anything, like anything with your thyroid. It disrupts your hormones, fertility, diabetes, cardiovascular disease. It can even cause learning disorders and attention issues, behavior issues with your child. It affects the brain as well. So when you're putting this on your baby, you're putting 3 different parabens on there. And if it rings a bell with you, kind of, parabens are actually what they found in the tumors of biopsied breast cancer tumors. They've found up to 6 different parabens in breast cancer tumors. So you've got 3 sources right here. So looking at this and seeing if you just use this before bed, but you give your baby a bath, that's a lot of chemicals you're exposing your children to. So I see some comments there. It is, it's very scary. It really is horrible. And you know, I mean, that's why we've got to become so educated, because we don't know this stuff. I used this stuff on my kids. So that's why it's so important for us to not beat ourselves up. I thought they were formulated for babies. They must be safe. But the truth is, there's really no strong regulatory process for these chemicals, so we don't know what they're doing until it's too late. I don't even think these companies, I doubt, are doing this on purpose too. You know, but that's why we have to become so educated. So even though some companies say, well, we have those ingredients in such a small amount in there, you can see there's 3 different sources of 1,4-dioxane in this and 1 in this, at least, but there's probably more, but the writing is so small I can't quite read it right now. So when you're getting multiple exposures all day long to this stuff, you know, you could be using this, and then you put a lotion on during the day on your baby or on yourself. That's multiple exposures. And the scary truth is we also don't know what the effects are of these chemicals synergistically. We don't know how they interact with each other. So I feel like that was a lot of information really quick. And I don't want to overwhelm. But if you have any questions, you can let me know. Is there anything in the comments? And I have to really sneak up there because I can't see. And if you watch this later, feel free to drop me a question in the comments below. I'll come back in and I'll check. But I hope you're finding this helpful too, because I want to be able to do this every week and kind of, you know, so when you go to the store, you feel confident in knowing what to buy. And so tonight's takeaway is I just really want you to remember anything that has PEG or ETH, start looking at your products for those, because again, those have a hidden toxin called 1,4-dioxane. So next week, I actually got a couple requests. There's one for Tide laundry detergent, and I had another laundry one, so I guess next week I'll be doing some laundry. But if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to drop a couple of my favorite brands in the comments below after this too for alternatives for babies, or even yourself, because check out your shampoos and you'll see pretty much the same thing in there. Oh, one more, because I didn't see it on here, but for your shampoo for adults, sodium lauryl sulfate, which you'll see in a lot of shampoos. So again, there's that ETH, which means 1,4-dioxane. Check your toothpaste for that too. Sodium lauryl sulfate or sodium lauryl sulfate. Sodium lauryl sulfate is what makes things foam, but it's also got the 1,4-dioxane contamination. So check your shampoos too. And, oh good, thanks Christina, I appreciate that. And if you know of anyone who wants to see these videos, I'll probably share some on my regular Facebook page, or you know, you can invite friends to join this group too if you know of anybody who wants this information. Oh Christina, good, you made your own toothpaste. I love making my own toothpaste. Yeah, if you have a favorite recipe, you can drop that in here too. Just make a post. I would love that. If we could start sharing our favorite DIY recipes, that would be awesome. Yeah, so if you know of anyone who would like this information or want to be a part of this community, I am going to try to build it. I'm going to try to be better about getting into this group, and I apologize, I've let that slip. But I have some other exciting things that are coming up too that I think will really be helpful that I've been working on. So, but again, I will be hopping back in here. But feel free to add your friends. I think I still have to request them, approve them to join. So feel free to do that. And I hope you're finding this helpful, and I hope you have a great night. I'll again, drop any comments into the comment section below, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.